Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Voyage. Godzilla Monster on the Rox Ship. Crossing the world of pirates, Jiang Bai becomes a crew member of the Rox Pirate Ship and gains the strongest pet system. The strongest space Godzilla at the beginning. Not only that, Godzilla will also despise the skills mastered by Jiang Bai and mutate them. Your Godzilla thinks that Congyun Knife Technique is too powerful, and it automatically mutates into nuclear energy, Congyun Atomic Slash. Your Godzilla thinks that the Golden Lion's chopping wave is too stingy, and it automatically mutates into a nuclear fusion helium flash shockwave. Your Godzilla feels that the Thunder Silver Axe of the Silver Axe is too weak, and it automatically mutates into a hydrogen explosive breath axe. So, there is a legend circulating in the sea that Jiang Bai, who saw the nuclear fruit, must kill him. Otherwise, if we meet again, he will not only completely improve and evolve your strongest move, but also kill you. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1 Godzilla on the Rox Ship. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a night's sleep, your pet Godzilla's proficiency in coronal light has increased to 75%. Godzilla is very happy that you have successfully laid it apart for a week. Your growth rate has increased by 20% and your evolution has increased by 10,000 points. The sea kings in your stomach have been successfully digested and have basically controlled your own nuclear radiation. With the extremely cold alert sound of the system. On the wooden bed, Jiang Bai, covered in lead bandages, suddenly sat up from the bed. After waiting for so long, I can finally actively restrain my nuclear radiation. In this way, I can finally move around normally. As for the bandage on his body, Jiang Bai pondered for a long time. It was not removed. As for the reason, it is quite simple. Nowadays, it is only possible to autonomously converge. But I want complete and perfect control. There is still a long way to go. Since Jiang Bai traveled to the world of One Piece 3 years ago. Not only was he accidentally saved by the Rox pirates. It also activates the strongest pet system. And his first pet beast was the Space Godzilla, known as the strongest god of destruction. After harvesting the pets. As the owner, Jiang Bai not only shares the attributes and abilities of Space Godzilla. It also allows for barrier-free communication. Although it is only a juvenile, it can still release extremely terrifying nuclear radiation. To promote changes and evolution in the surrounding environment. Thus suitable for one's own survival. Out of helplessness, Jiang Bai could only spend a lot of money specifically crafting lead bandages to wrap his entire body. Jiang Bai was very clear in his heart. Once one completely releases nuclear radiation from their body, a radius of 100 miles will become a forbidden zone for humans. But the consequences are also very serious. With the complete release of nuclear radiation, Jiang Bai himself will also fall into irreversible nuclear fusion, completely destroying all living beings within a radius of thousands of miles. System, open the property panel. Ding dong, the property panel has been successfully activated. Host. Jiang Bai. Age. 18. Ability. Coronal light. Emits red light from the mouth, possessing destructive power at the level of destruction. Gravity tornado. Using the crystal to release powerful psychic power, it can throw targets below 50,000 tons. Seeing and hearing color dominance, beginner, armed color dominance, beginner, Tianzong talent. Never forget all skills and learn easily. Evolution point. 130,000 points. Pet Space Godzilla. Status. Childhood, 73%. Potential. SS, highest SSSSS, ability. Destroy the Divine Constitution. It's not heading east, there are already so many evolutionary points. The so-dot called evolution point is used to evolve pets. Not only that, it can also be exchanged for other pets and skills. Of course, Godzilla can also undergo a natural evolution through solar radiation. However, this time is a bit long. If calculated based on the almost endless lifespan of Godzilla. At least it can be calculated in millions of years. For Jiang Bai, he can't wait so long. Therefore, in these 3 years, he strengthened his strength on the Rox Pirate Ship in order to control his own nuclear radiation. On the other hand, it is to let Godzilla hunt and kill various sea kings under the sea, constantly devouring and evolving, in order to accelerate Godzilla's growth rate. Unfortunately, Godzilla requires too much energy. Even if placed at the core of the sun, it would take hundreds of thousands of years to complete. Therefore, until now, Space Godzilla is still in its infancy. Of course, for Jiang Bai now, his strength is already sufficient to protect himself at sea. So it's not very urgent either. After removing the bandage from the body, Jiang Bai immediately got off the boat and went out to breathe fresh air. On the deck, he was tall and dressed in a white coat with a father-like white beard, waving the extremely heavy Congyun knife in his hand. The terrifying airflow formed, even on a deck as hard as steel, is blown up with waves of sawdust. The pirates gathered around, their faces full of admiration and awe. Little ones, cherish this opportunity. What I'm about to unleash next is my 20-year-long practice of the Congyun Knife Technique. Gulalala. As soon as this sentence is spoken, the crew around will count one by one, all nodding wildly. Edward Newgate. This is one of the strongest team captains of the Rox Pirates. Throw away the hat of the intern crew member in that minute, stand out, and live smoothly. After all, on the Rox Pirate Ship, Rox does not prohibit self-destruction. At this moment, the white beard waved again. The huge airflow, like a gust of wind, makes everyone's clothes hunt and make a sound. Many people have pale faces, like floating duckweed in the wind, as if they are about to be blown away at any time. But even so, they have one by one, all with big, desperate eyes. I want to keep a vivid record of the scene in front of me in my mind. On the other hand, Jiang Bai was blessed by the system of the god of destruction, watching with relish as if nothing had happened. With the blessing of the talent of the heavenly zone, Jiang Bai easily integrated and mastered it preliminarily. Wait until the white beard stops. The crisp prompt sound also resounded in Jiang Bai's ear. Ding dong, your pet fat house Godzilla thinks that Congyun Knife Technique is too rubbish and has automatically strengthened its alienation. The mutation was successful. Congratulations to the host for mastering the mutation cloud knife technique. Jiang Bai's face suddenly became strange. What? Godzilla actually thinks that Congyun Knife Technique is too rubbish. I think garbage is okay. Surprisingly, they even took the initiative to make improvements. What's so special about this? Chapter 2. Your Congyun Knife Technique is too rubbish, evolution. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Little ones, this knife technique move is very complex. It's best for you to exercise it now. Whitebeard chuckled while giggling. With a scrutinizing gaze, he looked at this group of intern crew members. For Whitebeard, in the previous naval battle that raided the Tianlong people, his team members under his command suffered heavy losses. That's precisely why he decided to show his hand in front of these intern crew members. Look for any signs of improvement and absorb them. At this moment, the crew on the deck, upon receiving instructions from Whitebeard. I also practice enthusiastically. If you want to get started with knife techniques, then it is necessary to master reasonable force techniques. As for the moves, they can be constantly changed in actual combat. Unfortunately, what disappointed Whitebeard a bit was the movements of these intern crew members look very formal. The problem is that none of them can master the technique of exerting force. There is no trace of grandeur at all. Suddenly, the white-bearded gaze caught the attention of Jiang Bai standing motionless on the side of the ship. He was momentarily taken aback, then smiled and said, "Gullah. Jiang Bai, you finally have the courage to come out of the cabin. You've seen my Congyun Knife Technique for so long, I'm sure you've gained some insights, haven't you? Since that's the case, then you can demonstrate it to everyone." For Jiang Bai, the impression of Bai Beard is still very profound. Even if it's been a full 3 years. He still remembers very clearly. When Jiang Bai was unconscious at sea and drifting with the waves. The seawater for more than 10 miles around has turned into colorful ink colors. And on this young man, there are even more terrifying fluctuations emanating. According to Captain Lox, I have no doubt that there is a power to destroy the world hidden in this kid. Initially, Bai Beard, out of curiosity, attempted to salvage Jiang Bai. It's just touching Jiang Bai's body. The white-bearded hand instantly showed a highly scalded state. After rescuing Jiang Bai, Whitebeard also lay in bed for 2 whole days. That's precisely why Jiang Bai became the most unique presence on the ship. Even Jiang Bai has not participated in any combat in the past 3 years. Whether it's Rox or Whitebeard and others. Everyone looks at Jiang Bai differently. On the other hand, Jiang Bai, upon hearing Bai Beard's inquiry, Jiang Bai also touched his nose and said with a bitter smile, "Sorry, Captain Edward Fan, I'm still clueless about the Congyun Knife Technique right now." Although Jiang Bai has initially mastered the technique of the mutant cloud blade. But this is only a preliminary understanding. Don't take it out casually to embarrass yourself. Moreover, to what extent was the mutation? Jiang Bai's heart also lacks spectrum. If you can't control your strength, it will be awkward. But he didn't expect that Whitebeard didn't easily let him go. Instead, he said with great interest, "It's okay, just wave it a few times." For Whitebeard, Jiang Bai has always been a mysterious existence. Especially when Jiang Bai wakes up. The terrifying fluctuation on his body. It gradually converges at a very fast speed. Even now. More like a fragile young man. But in Whitebeard's eyes, this is clearly a sign that Jiang Bai can proficiently use his own abilities. The idea of a white beard is very simple. That is to judge Jiang Bai's potential through his actions. As long as the potential meets his expectations. So immediately take it under your command. Thinking of this, Bai Hu smiled and said to Jiang Bai, "Go Allah, come on, just give this piece of steel and wood a casual cut, it's like moving your body in bones." The so-called steel wood is a common shipbuilding material in the world of pirates. The texture is as hard as iron. The only drawback is that I am afraid of fire. Facing an invitation from Whitebeard, Jiang Bai thought for a moment, but could only nod in agreement. One reason is because Whitebeard can at least be considered his life-saving benefactor. On the other hand, he also wants to try it out. This mutated version of the Congyun Knife Technique. What is the power? To avoid excessive attention, Jiang Bai plans to release only 1/10 of his power. I saw him raise the blade in his hand and casually chop towards the stone at the bow of the boat. Boom! As the sun shines brightly, a visible sword aura swept out. The crew members who were watching seemed to be facing the sun directly. Subconsciously closed my eyes. When they opened their eyes again, looking at the steel and wood that had completely turned into powder and was slowly burning, they are all dumbfounded. What kind of knife technique is this? Even with a white beard, his face was full of confusion and he instinctively stood up from the perspective of exertion techniques and posture. This is obviously Congyun Slash. I don't know why. This always gives Whitebeard a familiar and unfamiliar feeling. It is familiar that, judging from the degree of powder like steel and wood. This is clearly the power technique he developed from the fruit of the earthquake. Strangely. What is that heart-palpitating radiance? Suddenly, one of the crew members seemed to have discovered something. With a ghostly expression on his face, he pointed to the sea behind him and said, "You guys, look." Everyone turned around and saw the sea view clearly. Everyone has opened their eyes wide. On the distant sea, with the dazzling sword energy rushing into the sea, a towering wave of over 10 meters leaped into the air and then disappeared. Upon seeing this scene, a crew member was stunned and said, "Where are the waves? Why did they suddenly disappear?" Baihuzi took a deep breath and said, "That's because the waves were completely vaporized by the high temperature carried by the sword energy." Completely vaporized. Waves over 10 meters high. Everyone is completely petrified. I thought this was already shocking enough. Unexpectedly, Whitebeard's next words. Let everyone's 3 perspectives be completely shattered. I saw Whitebeard using a very serious tone. Speaking to Jiang Bai, he asked. So, when did you improve my Congyun blade technique to such a terrifying level? Chapter 3. Whitebeard's Kind Invitation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, for Jiang Bai. His expression was also somewhat bewildered. He never expected it. A knife that was casually swung out by oneself. Surprisingly, it could have caused such a terrifying effect. Fortunately, Jiang Bai had already figured out a solution. At the moment, he spoke out to Whitebeard. This is my fruit ability, the core fruit, and the specific ability is still being developed. For Jiang Bai, who can share his abilities with Godzilla. Most of it is related to nuclear energy. Naming it a nuclear fruit is also very appropriate. As for whether Whitebeard knows or raises doubts, that's not important. On the vast sea, devil fruits of various abilities emerge endlessly. Even the most knowledgeable person. I cannot guarantee that I know all the devil fruits. Sure enough, after hearing the name nuclear fruit, a confused expression appeared on the white-bearded face. But soon, completely replaced by undisguised appreciation. Demon. This is a complete demon. How difficult it is to practice one's own Congyun Knife Technique. He is very clear in his own heart. But the problem is, Jiang Bai in front of me. Not only has it been successfully demonstrated, and he also utilized the demon fruit's ability to successfully complete its alienation. It can be imagined that, as long as Jiang Bai can grow smoothly, so in the future on the sea, there will definitely be a place for him. If you join my team, you can directly take on the position of deputy team leader. Baihuzi chuckled and invited Jiang Bai. Boom. This sentence is like a thunderbolt, exploding loudly in everyone's minds. Direct invitation from Whitebeard. And still become the deputy team leader directly. This is equivalent to a flat-headed kid. Suddenly, the surf turned over and sang. Jumped to become a prince of the kingdom. The shock in everyone's hearts can be imagined. Envy. Shocked. Very jealous. And, deep fear. Jiang Bai's move just now. Everyone has already seen it. Even if you are beside me, there is still no way to directly observe. Jiang Bai also responded with a smile. Accepted the kindness of Whitebeard. In this extremely cruel group of Rox pirates. If you really want to join a faction. So the white-bearded team is definitely the first choice. Unlike other team captains who covet mysterious and enormous treasures. The Whitebeard comes from a very barren place that has been enduring war for years. And his purpose in joining the Rox pirates. It is to obtain powerful military force to provide shelter for their hometown. This also fostered his loyalty and character of prioritizing the lives of his subordinates. It's my honor to join the captain's team. Faced with Jiang Bai's response, Beard also smiled and said, we're going to divide the team soon. If you have any needs, feel free to come to me. Being able to recruit talents like Jiang Bai today is also considered a successful harvest. 1,000 soldiers are easy to obtain, but one general is hard to find. On the other hand, the members of the Whitebeard team. For Jiang Bai, who is about to become his immediate superior. The expression on his face was also very unexpected. But they are not like probationary crew members, full of hostility and vigilance towards Jiang Bai. On the contrary, it is accepted calmly. Even thinking about how to get along with this guy in the future. For a moment, on the deck, there was a surge of dark tides. On the other hand, Jiang Bai. He is too lazy to pay attention to the small details in the hearts of these crew members. Instead, he walked towards the kitchen on his own. Godzilla is a good pet everywhere. The only downside. That's just so delicious at the same time. Jiang Bai quickly learned that Congyun Knife Technique and successfully differentiated it. It also quickly spread to the entire pirate group. At this moment, in a luxurious room on the upper deck of the pirate ship, the Golden Lion is polishing its sword. After listening to the dazzling report from my subordinates, a thoughtful expression also appeared on his face. Like a white beard, the Golden Lion is also a skilled swordsman. Nature knows the strength of the Congyun Knife Technique, especially in so many years of experience with blood and fire. Whitebeard has already perfected it to the extreme. But even so. But it was quickly learned by Jiang Bai without saying anything. And he also used his demon fruit ability to alienate it into a more powerful move. Core fruit. This sounds a bit interesting. As he spoke, the Golden Lion sounded like a bell. Lead the way, I really want to see what kind of strength this monster newcomer has reached. Captain Ski. Chapter 4. Nuclear Sonar. Seeing, hearing, colorful and dominant. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The news spread like wildfire. In a huge castle. A few people looked in the direction of the port. Jiang Bai learned that Congyun Slash and the news of its alienation also reached the ears of Wang Zheng, Axe, and others. It is said that the trainee crew member only took a glance and understood Whitebeard's Congyun Slash, and made terrifying improvements. On the spot, Whitebeard recruited this guy and directly promoted him to deputy captain, breaking the rules. John spoke with the same surprise as he first heard it. However, looking at Wang Zheng and Silver Axe, the two of them smiled slightly. I learned Congyun Slash at a glance. Are you sure it's something a trainee crew member can do? Obviously. Neither of them believes much. You should know that it was the slash created by Whitebeard only after he understood the shockwave ability. If I were myself, given 3 days, I wouldn't necessarily be able to learn Congyun Slash. If the person you're talking about is Captain Lox, then I still believe it. Although I have heard about this matter, it is just a word of mouth among the probationary crew members. There's no such wicked person. Silver Axe said, shrugging his shoulders. John put on a slightly playful expression and replied, what if it's true? Upon hearing this, Wang Zheng and Silver Axe were both slightly surprised, but their expressions quickly calmed down. If it's true, then it's interesting. Not just the people on the Rox ship. There are also Charlotte Lingling, Kadwa, Shaki. They also heard this rumor. At this moment, Jiang Bai was daydreaming at the stern of the ship, then closing his eyes and meditating. As long as he lies flat, he can obtain an evolutionary point. And then obtain the devil fruit, exchange it with the system, and also gain evolution points. Think about it. He is immersed in meditation, wild thoughts. For the growth of Space Godzilla, the evolutionary points he has gained are just a drop in the bucket, completely insufficient. The main thing is to rely on Godzilla to search for sea kings on the seabed, and then search for lost meteorites and nuclear radiation. Only in this way can we grow rapidly. At present. For the rapid growth of Space Godzilla. Jiang Bai lay flat here, and then Godzilla wandered around alone in this vast sea area. The two can communicate without barriers, so no matter where Godzilla goes, there is no problem chatting. Godzilla has found a meteorite island that is absorbing nuclear radiation, and the atomic furnace inside is operating at high speed. At the current stage, it has reached 79%, juvenile stage. Hear the system prompt sound. Jiang Bai smiled slightly. These are all daily activities these days. And as he listened to the sound, he couldn't help but think of a nuclear reactor inside Godzilla's massive body. It can be imagined that in that atomic furnace, positive and negative nuclear particles are constantly colliding, brewing an energy that can destroy the sky and earth. If we can find a meteorite island, then Godzilla might have eaten enough radiation. That's how refreshing it must be. Then you can sit on your own and feel the surge in strength. You should know that Jiang Bai is bound to Godzilla, and his strength and attributes can be shared. Of course, except for weight at present. As the Space Godzilla absorbed radiation, Jiang Bai discovered that he had a new understanding of the Congyun Slash after the mutation. I caught fish for a while. Jiang Bai stood up and picked up a standard long sword. It can be imagined that if you occasionally train yourself, you can achieve the fastest progress in mastering the mutated Congyun Slash. At that time, it will be possible to completely integrate the nuclear energy and techniques inside the body, and unleash a destructive move. I don't know what the name of that move is. Congyun Nuclear Power Cut. No way. It's a bit less aggressive. Just as Jiang Bai was thinking of his name, several figures on the ship quickly passed by. Even on a white-bearded ship, there are inevitably some dark guys. They stayed on the ship for 3 or 4 years without any chance of becoming formal crew members. But they never expected that the person who had been lying in bed with bandages for 3 years would suddenly become the deputy team leader. I can't swallow this breath no matter what. At that moment, Jiang Bai heard a warning sound. From the growth of Space Godzilla, the host has gained the ability to share sonar. The called sonar is actually equivalent to seeing, hearing, and being domineering. However, when Jiang Bai came to this world, he unintentionally gained the dominance of seeing, hearing, and color. Now, it's not much use using a sonar, ding. Your Godzilla thinks that the stage of seeing, hearing, and colorful dominance is too weak, and automatically mutates into a nuclear sonar. Seeing, hearing, and colorful dominance. Beginner, the words have just finished. Jiang Bai felt his own changes. Previously, he could only perceive the aura of color and aura at close range, the fleeting future. But after the mutation became a nuclear energy sonar, he slowly closed his eyes. The penetration into the future and inner insight have all increased significantly. It can be said that as long as the Space Godzilla continues to grow, this nuclear energy sonar, the aura of seeing and hearing, will completely surpass the cultivation to the top level of seeing and hearing aura. You should know that currently, there are only 4 abilities for visual perception: predicting the future, reading the heart, and perceiving distance. Jiang Bai believes that the top-notch nuclear energy sonar, known for its dominance, will develop more capabilities. As for those clowns who came over to launch a surprise attack and want unfair competition, Jiang Bai had already discovered them. In the blink of an eye. When they came behind. Before preparing to launch a surprise attack from behind, he saw a long sword and turned around to pass by. The blade is covered with armed colors and exudes a domineering aura, appearing black throughout. Jiang Bai waved the handle of the knife and combined it with the mutated Congyun Knife Technique. The knife has not yet fully penetrated. The unparalleled blade suddenly charged out. And the terrifying high temperature at the moment when the blade penetrated into the bodies of several people, they were shattered into a dozen or so pieces, and then vaporized on the spot under the scorching heat. Only some body parts that are far away from high temperatures melt into liquid, and then drip in the air bit by bit. Those pirates thought it was fake just because they heard that Jiang Bai had mastered the mutated Congyun blade technique. Now, they don't even have time to regret, they just evaporate on the ship. Jiang Bai withdrew his knife, but there was a hint of dissatisfaction on his face. Just now, this mutated Congyun blade technique only used a little over 1/10 of its power. It's not fun anymore, and just when Jiang Bai was feeling a bit bored, he arrived at the Golden Lion Shiji on the ship and witnessed the whole process. His golden mane hair floated in the wind, while his face below it showed an extremely shocked expression. Not only did he proficiently master the Congyun Knife Technique, but he also made such terrible improvements. The high temperature directly evaporates people completely. And the aura of seeing, hearing, and armed colors are all very well mastered. At a moment of surprise, the Golden Lion, Shiji, excitedly clenched his fist. This Jiang Bai. We must invite you to join. Chapter 5. Nuclear Energy Pulse. How to Chop Waves. Kneel down. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The Golden Lion Shiji appeared on the ship. He clenched his hands tightly and clenched them into a fist shape. How can a demon like Jiang Bai not see the strength of his opponent? Since 3 years ago, this person has been paying attention to the terrifying energy fluctuations of the other party since boarding the ship. Now, watching Jiang Bai skillfully wield his sword, he unleashed the ever-changing technique of the Congyun sword. I believe the other party has perfectly controlled the power inside their body. If I could recruit you to my team, it would be perfect. Golden Lion Shiji thought as he pulled out the 2 knives from his arms. A cherry tree, a withered tree. Then, he prepared to go down. At this moment, Jiang Bai did not turn around, turned his back to himself, and said calmly. Captain Ski, have you been watching from behind for so long? Is there anything wrong? Why did you pull out 2 knives? The words fell. The Golden Lion Shiji suddenly froze in place, looked at Jiang Bai unexpectedly, and then glanced at his own double swords. What's going on? Is it difficult to say that he has already cultivated his aura to the point where he can predict the future? Otherwise, how did he find out just now that I had pulled out 2 knives? With great shock in my heart, the Golden Lion couldn't help but change his expression and looked at Jiang Bai. Now, he doesn't care if the other party has cultivated that unprecedented level of aura and dominance. At present, recruiting the other party is the most important thing. I've heard all the rumors about you. A talented person like you, why not join my team? What Nugget can give, I can give it to you too. Let's reach the peak together, wouldn't it be better? What do you think, Jiang Bai? Shiji, the Golden Lion, walked towards Jiang Bai while sending out invitations. On the other hand, Jiang Bai's expression slightly changed. Invite me to join. No way. Jiang Bai is not sure which peak the Golden Lion is referring to, so, Captain Ski, I don't know much about you either, and I haven't met you before. They say you have strong abilities, can you show me? Diverted from a topic. Jiang Bai looked faintly at the Golden Lion. What do you mean by what you're saying? Are you trying to say that I'm not as powerful as Newgate? Okay, then let's see who's more powerful. Next, I want you to have to choose me. The Golden Lion said. He grabbed the 2 famous knives in his hand and immediately clenched them tightly. Unlike the Whitebeard's Congyun blade technique, the Golden Lion's blade technique uses the 2-blade flow. Moreover, it took him half a year to master this lion-chopping sword technique. If it weren't for his exceptional talent, he would have to be like an ordinary person, spending 2 or 3 years may not necessarily get him started. And it seems like a 2-blade stream, just an extra knife. In fact, the difficulty increases exponentially. Golden Lion Shiji adjusted his posture, holding a knife in both hands, and made a slashing motion. Then, as Jiang Bai was mesmerized, he began to explain. 2-blade flow, combined with domineering aura and the ability of devil fruit, will have great power. I don't know if you're ready, welcome my lion-chopping wave. The words fell. I saw that the golden lion, Shiji, had completely entered a state. The two knives pressed down fiercely. Lion. Chop the wave. Immediately afterwards, a huge slashing blade rushed out and swept towards the sea. Based on the changes in the sea surface, the power of this chopping move can be seen. At present, this terrifying strike directly cracked open the sea surface, causing the seawater to rush two waves towards both sides. The chopping wave in the middle swept along the sea until it disappeared from people's sight and did not stop. Seeing this scene, the golden lion Shiji was extremely satisfied with this knife. After the sea closed together, he proudly looked at Jiang Bai. How is it going? Did you see it? My knife technique is much more powerful than Nuggets, thinking to myself. The golden lion, Shiji, calmly and confidently said to Jiang Bai. After seeing this knife, smart, you know whose team you're joining, right? Jiang Bai heard the words. A thoughtful expression appeared. Just now, the move of the golden lion, chopping the wave, was truly stunning. However, as the other person used that move, a prompt sound also came to my mind. Ding! Congratulations on mastering the lion/blade technique. Jiang Bai smacked his lips. Then he grabbed a standard long knife in his hand. The feeling that was different from the Congyun Knife Technique lingered between his fingers. If given two swords at this moment, he can perfectly reproduce the power of the lion's chopping wave sword technique. How's it going? Do you have an answer in your mind? The golden lion Shiji didn't react when he saw Jiang Bai, so he added another sentence. The expression on his face remained proud. It seems to be waiting for Jiang Bai to make a decision to join the team. At the same time, he also threw an olive branch and casually drew a small cake. Well, although the lion chopping wave sword technique is difficult and can only be mastered by talented people in a year, I can guarantee that I will personally teach you in just 3 months. Are you interested now? Upon hearing this, Jiang Bai shrugged and replied, I have learned it. The rising golden lion, Shiji, is also preparing to boast about his past learning of the chopper blade technique. But at that moment, his expression suddenly froze. At the moment when he realized it, he showed a surprised expression and exclaimed. Did you learn this? You're joking. Although I just explained it in detail to you, it's not something that happens overnight to understand this knife technique. Seeing the golden lion, Shiji didn't believe it. Jiang Bai had to pick up another standard long sword from the side. 2 knives in hand. Don't believe it. Do you need me to demonstrate it to you? Jiang Bai asked with a smile. Okay, then show me, the golden lion replied. Although he couldn't believe it in his heart, he continued reading with curiosity. There were rumors before that Jiang Bai learned the Congyun Knife Technique at a glance. At that time, he thought it was just nonsense. After all, he had been on the ship for 3 years, so he must have secretly practiced with Bai Huzi. Now, he also felt that Jiang Bai was talking nonsense. The difficulty of learning one's own lion chopping sword technique is not average. Ding! Your Godzilla feels that the lion/blade technique lacks momentum and mutates into nuclear energy pulse. Lion/. The sound has just fallen. Jiang Bai paused slightly as he carried his double swords. Has it changed again? What is this time again? Think about it. He clenched his 2 knives tightly, and then saw a scorching breath rushing out from the handle, lingering all over his body. A force is constantly accumulating, as if accumulating energy next second. At the moment when the energy storage was completed, it was like a pulse of nuclear energy, a powerful force that made people feel numb and rushed out from the double swords. Giant lion/wave. This knife seems to be about to overturn the sea directly. I saw the giant lion slashing the waves and rolling up the waves on both sides, reaching tens of thousands of feet high. Seeing this scene, the originally disdainful golden lion Shiji suddenly petrified. This Nima at the same time. Wang Ji, along with Silver Axe and others, who were in the skeleton rock hall, suddenly stopped and looked at the giant chopper on the other side of the island. Instantly felt a tingling sensation on the scalp. Chapter 6. Demon Genius. Forget it. 3 days. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Pirate Island. Hachinos. The headquarters of the Rox Pirates. Whitebeard is passing by the house under the skeleton rock. However, the distant chopping wave also attracted him in an instant. Isn't this the lion/code? Shiji. Is it difficult for him to be on my boat? Bai Hu Zi was thinking. I saw Wang Ji and John and others coming out of the skeleton rock house by chance and immediately heading towards Jiang Bai's direction. At this point, my subordinate came over and approached Bai Hu's ear, telling me about something that happened on the ship. Upon hearing this, the white-bearded face instantly darkened. Shiki, what do you want? On the other side, Jiang Bai held his sword in both hands and still maintained the lion's chopping posture. And when it was first used, it had already transformed into a nuclear energy pulse. So with the help of one's own nuclear energy, one's perception of it has increased several times, leading to the realization of a brand new move. Nuclear energy pulse. Lion chop wave. Thousand Cut Valley. You should know that Golden Lion Shiji practiced hard for almost half a year before mastering Lion Slash, and then spent another half-year upgrading Slash to Thousand Cut Valley. Now, Jiang Bai effortlessly comprehended the brand new Thousand Cut Valley. However, currently only 10% of the new move has been mastered. With the continuous improvement of our understanding of nuclear radiation, we can unleash the full power of the mutated Thousand Cut Valley. As for the nearby Golden Lion Shiji, when Jiang Bai used that move, his expression was already shocked and numb. After swallowing a mouthful of saliva with difficulty, he lifted his head to look in the direction of Jiang Bai. When did you steal my Lion Slash and improve it into such a terrifying move? The Golden Lion didn't believe anything, but Jiang Bai glanced at it and then learned his diligently practiced swordsmanship. Faced with the doubts of the Golden Lion, Jiang Bai smiled slightly but did not respond. I'm afraid once I use nuclear energy to charge the pulse. Lion chopping wave. Thousand Cut Valley. The Golden Lion's chin is about to collapse, and just as Jiang Bai was thinking about Qianqigu, many people were already surrounding him. The commotion here has attracted a lot of attention. Full crew, probationary crew also, leaders of cadres such as Wang Ji and Yin Axe and Charlotte Lingling, who has a fiery figure, and the quite muscular Kato when a group of people gathered together. Jiang Bai and the Golden Lion Shiji also looked over. Why are so many people here? Jiang Bai was somewhat surprised. On the other hand, the Golden Lion showed a wary expression. No need to think they were attracted by Jiang Bai's giant chopping wave move. It seems that we are preparing to rob someone. Shiji, what just happened? Silver Axe immediately asked. He was worried that Shiji had just used that chopping move because of an external invasion. Wang Zheng, Silver Axe. Why did you come? The Golden Lion instead changed the topic and asked. Just now we felt a strong aura. It's not that we're afraid of foreign invasion, so come and take a look. The Silver Axe spoke and suddenly looked at a crew member next to the Golden Lion. This crew member is also quite prominent. Only a bandage was torn open on the side of the eyes, while the rest remained entangled, like the king of bandages. Wait. Why is that terrifying aura so similar to the power on him? The Silver Axe suddenly sensed a different sign and immediately spoke up. Upon hearing this, the other few, including Kaido and Charlotte Lingling, had a hint of surprise flashing in their eyes. To be honest, when they saw the lion slaying the waves, they thought it was a move made by Shiji. Now, when they saw Jiang Bai, they realized that it was the same source of power. Is it difficult? This crew member really did it. A sense of shock surged in the hearts of several people. At this moment, a powerful figure suddenly rose into the sky. The aura covered by the white beard emanated, and then a domineering aura enveloped Ski's body. At the same time, Song Yunqi in his hand pulled out a strange arc in the air, with a clean white halo, and fell towards the direction of the Golden Lion, Shiji. Mutate. The Golden Lion, Ski, raised his head in surprise and looked at the approaching Mutate. I'm just grabbing someone. What are you making such a fuss about? Surprised. Shiji suddenly lifted his two knives. Sakura Shiji and Kuki instantly met Song Yunqi in Baihu's hand. Two forces collide. Boom. At the moment when the power bloomed, a corner of the nearby coastline collapsed. At the same time, the floating fruit of the Golden Lion and the trembling fruit on the white beard exert their strength. The two fruit abilities suddenly intertwined. The raging wind is raging. Broken stones. An incredibly fierce aura immediately emanated. The apprentice crew member next to him immediately flew backwards. Even the leader of the cadres, Charlotte Lingling, and others had a slight tilt in their footsteps and did not stand firm. On the other hand, Jiang Bai, standing at the center of the vortex of power, has developed a terrifying physique after sharing Godzilla's attributes and abilities. So in the face of this terrifying force, he remained motionless and stood as still as a rock. Jiang Bai glanced at the reactions of the others and immediately realized. This won't work. I'll just dump it a little bit. Cooperate with them. Thinking to myself. Jiang Bai tilted back slightly. Those who were staring at Jiang Bai, including Charlotte Lingling and Kaido, were suddenly confused. What is the situation with Jiang Bai? Is this still half slow? However, they didn't think too much and then turned their attention to Newgate and Ski in the middle. At this moment, Shiji gritted his teeth and exerted a sudden force, reluctantly taking the knife from Bai beard. Continuing. The two suddenly parted ways. The surrounding atmosphere and strong winds also slightly calmed down. Newgate. I'm grabbing you. What are you doing? The Golden Lion, Ski, looked angry. Aren't you going to trouble Jiang Bai? Bai beard replied with a hint of confusion upon hearing this. Wait. Jiang Bai is the deputy captain of our team. Did you come here to steal people? As soon as Bai Huzi spoke, he immediately realized that the situation was not right, looked directly at the Golden Lion, and said angrily. Oh my, isn't it just a crew member with better qualifications who needs to make such a big fuss and grab people? Silver Axe couldn't bear to watch anymore and came out to persuade. Upon hearing this, Whitebeard and the Golden Lion's expression suddenly changed, and they said in surprise, you said Jiang Bai is just a little better qualified. Faced with the contempt of the Silver Axe, both of them couldn't help but stand up. And they are all aware of it. Jiang Bai is a genius at the demon level. At this moment, Baibeard added, Jiang Bai spent 3 years mastering my Congyun Knife Technique, and then combined his own nuclear and fruit power to improve a terrifying Congyun Knife Technique. You just told me that his qualifications were a bit better. Standing on the side, Jiang Bai heard the words and didn't know how to refute them. Fortunately, I won't say it anymore. At this moment, the Golden Lion also stood up and sighed, Jiang Bai, this guy, also spent 3 years secretly learning my lion/blade technique and then made terrifying improvements. He's really not just a bit more talented. Hear this. Jiang Bai can't bear to watch anymore. Well, it's not 3 years. Forget it, 3 days. Jiang Bai finished speaking. I saw a suffocating expression on the white beard and the Golden Lion. 3 days joking and pinching. At this moment, Wang Ji, along with Silver Axe and others, also had their chins startled. Is it really as rumored that Jiang Bai is a demon genius? Chapter 7. Godzilla's Disdain for the Silver Axe of Thunder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In a room. In the darkness, a figure emitted a powerful aura. This person is none other than Rox Ship. As the captain of the Rox Pirates, when recruiting Newgate, I was amazed by his outstanding talent. Unexpectedly, another crew member with a demonic appearance appeared this time. Just notice the giant lion chopping wave aura of Lox. At this moment, he slowly stood up and walked towards the outside of the room. It's time to go see the demons who have been on the ship for 3 years. On the other side, the Golden Lion and Newgate Whitebeard were both immersed in shock. They thought Jiang Bai was secretly stealing knowledge, and it took them 3 years to master and improve. Unexpectedly, they said it only took 3 days. Both of them were shocked. What kind of demon-level talent is this? Even with a white beard, there is a sense of self-doubt and underestimation of Jiang Bai. On the other hand, when Silver Axe and others were surprised, they were somewhat surprised. It is common for crew members to brag among themselves. Jiang Bai, can you really master it in 3 days and then improve it? To be honest, I don't believe it. Silver Axe said, looking down at the weapon on his body. Immediately, he lightly touched the axe. The implication is obvious, you know, the moves I have mastered are much more difficult to learn than Newgate and Ski. If. Just as the Silver Axe spoke, the Golden Lion suddenly stood up and interrupted, saying, I think there are still many people who don't believe it. Otherwise, you can use the Silver Axe move and see how much Jiang Bai can comprehend. So we'll know if he's bragging. To be honest, the Golden Lion also wants to see Jiang Bai's outstanding talent once again. Listening to the words of the Golden Lion, the Silver Axe raised its large axe in its hand. Jiang Bai, what do you think? Upon hearing this, Jiang Bai nodded. Then let's give it a try. Then you have to watch carefully. My move is called Thunder Silver Axe. The sound fell. I saw the Silver Axe waving its head, and suddenly I saw threads of thunder and lightning tangled around it. As he emitted the aura of his background, the thunder suddenly made a sound and evolved into a terrifying thunder. Thunder Silver Axe. In order to master this move, I don't know how many times I suffered from lightning strikes. I don't believe you can master it within 3 days. Speaking. A confident expression appeared on Silver Axe's face. After hearing this, the nearby crew not only took a deep breath. What are the techniques to master when struck by lightning? This is blocking one's own life before mastering the technique of creating lightning power. It can be said. How strong a person is, then it depends on how much they are fighting. Obviously, Silver Axe is already a person standing at the peak. Combining dominance with the insight of natural forces, this move will unleash 200% of its power. The Silver Axe explained while accumulating power. The crew next to them were very shocked, and they also grabbed the weapons in their hands, secretly learning to master this power technique. On the other hand, a hint of surprise appeared in the White Beard and the Golden Lion. Compared to before, Silver Axe's perception of the power of nature has increased by 3 points. Is it difficult? He stood alone on the mountaintop again and then went to welcome the tempering of lightning. Otherwise, how could the power increase so much? At a moment of surprise, I saw that the Silver Axe had already accumulated its power. Everyone's gaze also turned towards it. What no one noticed was that Captain Lox had already exuded his own aura, enveloping the entire scene, sensing every move happening here. There are only a few people on the entire island of Hachinos who can achieve this kind of overwhelming presence that covers the entire venue. At this moment, the Silver Axe swung down with one blow, accompanied by the previously explained essentials. The moment the axe was pressed forward, the force was released in an unstoppable manner, combining the use of dominance. On the blade of the axe, a black shadow lingered, and a terrifying thunder suddenly appeared. In the blink of an eye, the axe fell and a powerful aura surged towards the sea. On the spot, I saw the sea sinking into 100 meters and then exploding with a loud bang. Unlike the lion-chopping wave of the Golden Lion, this move can penetrate deep into the sea, concentrate strength in one place, and cause tremendous destructive power. Suddenly, a terrifying vortex formed on the sea surface, constantly spinning and emitting thunderbolts. Half a sound passed. The power of this move has not dissipated yet. From here, one can see the terrifying aspect of the Thunder Silver Axe. Is this the strength of the cadre team leader? Many people exclaimed in shock. Just an axe. Surprisingly, such a terrifying spectacle has been carved out. I just used only 1/3 of my strength. I don't know if you've seen it clearly, Jiang Bai. The silver axe put away its axe and looked calmly at Jiang Bai. Others heard this. I was even more surprised and inexplicable. Is it still only 1/3 of the power? If we hit with all our might, wouldn't we have to go several kilometers deep into the sea? And then blow up a terrifying sea cave? The crew felt a tingling sensation when they thought of that scene. At this moment, Newgate, Keto waiting for someone, their eyes also became solemn. As Silver Axe said, this move just now was not full force. If Captain Lox comes over and faces the lightning Silver Axe with a full blow, he may not be able to fully retreat. And they thought about the power of the Thunder Silver Axe in their hearts, and couldn't help but look at Jiang Bai. Next. The doubts in one's own heart can also be answered. Can Jiang Bai really master the Thunder Silver Axe within 3 days? Facing everyone's gaze, Jiang Bai paused slightly and didn't rush to answer. With the ability of heavenly talent. Ding! You have perfectly mastered the Thunder Silver Axe of the Silver Axe. Your proficiency is 100%. At this moment, Jiang Bai is ready to speak up and answer. Previously, it was said to be 3 days, so why not wait until 3 days later and then tell them that you have gradually entered a better state? But surprisingly, the Golden Lion and others all widened their eyes, feeling incredulous. They all pointed towards Jiang Bai's palm one by one. With the beating of nuclear power, a terrifying thunder had already lingered in Jiang Bai's palm after the mutation. Ding! Your Godzilla disdains the speed of the Thunder Silver Axe and has mutated it. At present, the host has mastered the basic mutated nuclear flash. Thunder Silver Axe. As the system sounds. Jiang Bai glanced at the other people's gaze and then suddenly turned to his palm. I didn't expect the nuclear radiation to leak out a bit. It seems that it will take some time to master all the nuclear power. Immediately after, Jiang Bai held his breath and focused, controlling the nuclear radiation, and then regained his power. In the blink of an eye, that thunderous aura also disappeared. Upon seeing this scene, the Golden Lion Shiji and Silver Axe, among others, swallowed a mouthful of saliva one by one. Just as Jiang Bai was about to speak, Silver Axe raised his hand and interrupted the other person. Don't speak yet. Tell me, when did you steal my Thunder Silver Axe and make such terrible improvements? Chapter 8. Rox Present. Up and Down. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Although Jiang Bai collected the nuclear energy in his body, Lei Mang also disappeared with him. But everyone present saw that scene. The scene portrayed by Jiang Bai is exactly the same as when the Silver Axe used the Thunder Silver Axe. When Silver Axe saw this scene, he stood up on the spot and questioned when Jiang Bai had secretly learned. At this moment, Whitebeard involuntarily clenched the Congyun cut in his hand. Did Jiang Bai just take a glance? Or, as Silver Axe said, secretly learn Thunder Silver Axe from behind? Anyway, they are all extremely demonic talents. Jiang Bai met everyone's gaze and said calmly. I have roughly mastered the Thunder Silver Axe. If you want to improve, it will take another 3 days. Upon hearing this, the Silver Axe was the first to show a strange gaze. Will it take another 3 days? I see you have already learned and made improvements, Jiang Bai, please don't shy away from my question. Tell me how you stole my thunder silver axe. With the silver axe, ask. Others also looked at Jiang Bai with curiosity. At the same time, they couldn't help but show a hint of sweat. Is it possible? Did Jiang Bai also learn his own moves and improve them into his own unique style? The most important thing is how the other party improved fruit capacity. Still a unique secret script thinking to myself. At this moment, Jiang Bai raised his double knives in his hand. A glimmer of thunder reappears. See the situation. Everyone widened their eyes in surprise. That's it. A crew member exclaimed in surprise. This scene is like the lightning power controlled by a silver axe. However, Jiang Bai's hand was not an axe, but a double sword. At this moment, Jiang Bai's hands were pressing down, accompanied by a double slash. A powerful blue aura surged out in an instant. Mutation core flash. Thunder silver axe. The speed is so fast that it's almost suffocating. Everyone watched as the blue aura had just emerged from the blade, and then they saw a terrifying wave erupting from 100 meters away on the sea surface. As the wave surged, a black vortex with a depth of over 10 meters appeared below. Vortex formation, thunderous paths, entangled around the seawater. Next, the most surprising thing happened, right at the center of the vortex, where the seawater turned into steam due to the high temperature and soared upwards. Hush, everyone took a deep breath. The move Jiang Bai just used is not only an improvement of the Thunder Silver Axe, but also a superior move. Even with a pair of swords, one can still wield the power beyond that of a famous axe. For Jiang Bai, there is somewhat confusion. I clearly restrained my strength and only used 1/8 this. How could it have caused nearly a kilometer of potholes? And then he evaporated the seawater completely at the same time. The ship they were on unexpectedly experienced a sudden drop of a few tenths of a centimeter due to the decrease in seawater in this area. Although it is a slight sinking, for the white-bearded and golden lion, they can sense it, and at the same time, their hearts are already shrouded in shock. Whitebeard remembers Jiang by saying that seawater evaporation is the result of combining nuclear fruits, but he never thought that the nuclear fruit could be combined with various techniques and unleash suffocating power and speed. The silver axe next to him saw the improved version of the Thunder Silver Axe and couldn't stand it anymore. He showed an extremely shocked expression and couldn't help but burst out a vulgar sentence. Mad. Do you need to spend 3 days doing this? You just learned it at a glance. Also, are you a fruit ability? Why is the effect of the Thunder Silver Axe so explosive after improvement? Upon hearing this, Jiang Bai skipped the question he learned at a glance and instead briefly explained the second question. It is the effect of nuclear fruit. The words fell. The silver axe suddenly touched the forehead. The world is vast, and there are countless types of demon fruits. To be honest, he didn't even know there was another fruit ability called nuclear fruit. But seeing the ability of this fruit to explode so much, he wants the whole world to search for this kind of fruit at this moment. The people around them were lost in thought when they heard the 4 words, nuclear fruit. Regardless of whether they have seen this fruit or not, in their hearts, they have regarded the ability of this fruit as the most terrifying existence. Charlotte Lingling, with her graceful figure, widened her eyes and walked out, sighing. It seems that Jiang Bai is destined to become the existence of the great demon king on the sea. His talent and fruit ability are both possible, even during holidays, surpassing Captain Locke's. In this sentence, Charlotte Lingling emphasized 2 points. One is Jiang Bai's talent for comprehending techniques, and the other is the nuclear fruit on his body. Everyone present nodded in agreement upon hearing this sentence. Jiang Bai, welcome to Shiji's team. You can be on an equal footing with me. The golden lion, Shiji, immediately showed a smiling face and greeted Jiang Bai, trying to pull people to his side. The silver axe next to him did not wait and immediately welcomed him. To be honest, It wasn't until the other party demonstrated the skill of learning the Thunder Silver Axe at a glance that he realized he was a super demon. If someone can recruit a top talent like this as a partner, they can dominate the world. Shurji. Silver Axe. What are you doing? After seeing someone trying to dig Jiang Bai, Beard's face instantly darkened. As the words fell, his aura also emanated in vain. If it were in the past, Ski and others may not have directly confronted Whitebeard. But this time, the situation is different, Newgate. How about we compete fairly and see whose fan team he's willing to join, like this genius? Golden Lion Shurji spoke up. Upon hearing this, Wang Ji, John, and others joined in. Competing together. Stop it. On the side of Rox, Shanshan walked over. Just now, he saw the mutated nuclear flash thunder silver axe unleashed by Jiang Bai through his aura and aura. To be honest, he was completely shocked. Whether it's the speed or power of this move, not only does it surpass the silver axe, but it also has enormous potential. He believed that if he continued to refine this move, the speed would be even faster and the power would be even more fierce. Crew members like this have to convince themselves to become partners. Captain Lox, why are you here? Ski was surprised to see Lox, who had not appeared for a long time. Upon hearing this, Lox smiled lightly and then showed a very imposing look in his eyes. Looking around at the Whitebeards and Kaido waiting for others, he paused slightly and spoke. You don't have to argue anymore. Genius like Jiang Bai can form their own team. The premise is that if he is willing. Chapter 9. Nuclear Fruit Ability. Great Shock. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiang Bai was also somewhat surprised as he listened to Locke's words. Directly appoint oneself as a cadre, on an equal footing with people like Beard. It's a bit sudden, however. He is also considering whether this matter is feasible. The next step is to obtain evolution points, exchange demon fruits, and other things, which will be the most important source. Then it takes some time to fully grasp the power shared by Godzilla. If there are no special circumstances, it is natural to stay on the ship. When considering, I saw Lox walking over from the boat, with one hand resting on Jiang Bai's shoulder, and his face became heavy. Jiang Bai, I hope you can stay and work together to achieve great things. This fruit is for you. Speaking, Captain Lox took out a peculiar-shaped animal fruit from behind him. See the situation. The other crew members immediately showed envy in their eyes. To be honest, they also want to acquire the ability of Devil's Fruit. Although the Rox Pirate Ship had many opportunities and also gained many demonic fruits. But these demonic fruits are not something they can expect. At this moment, everyone present, including Whitebeard, Golden Lion Ski, John, and others, their expressions varied. John couldn't help but stand up and advise. Is it too early to let Jiang Bai serve as a cadre and directly form a team? As soon as this sentence is spoken, the old crew members who had been on the ship for 4 or 5 years nodded in agreement. The position of cadre is the largest position under the captain. Whether it's the Golden Lion, John, or others, they all need to rely on one battle after another. Only by surviving countless battles can one be qualified to sit in this position. However, Jiang Bai, who had never been out to sea before, kept lying in bed and occasionally moved around. Is it too hasty to give Jiang Bai a position as a cadre directly in this situation? Moreover, Jiang Bai's move after using the mutation just now only looked a bit more powerful. The heat brought by the high temperature evaporated the seawater. It doesn't look very good either. As for the terrifying fluctuations displayed on Jiang Bai's body, they only felt that it was a false impression brought about by the nuclear fruit, just a kind of poisonous gas. At this moment, under the questioning of many old crew members, Lox had a gloomy face and did not speak. Instead, he released a terrifying pressure and, through his domineering aura, immediately enveloped everyone's heads. Some vulnerable crew members flew backwards on the spot. John also felt a tingling scalp, sweating on his face, and calmed down. After seeing no one questioning him, Rox slowly walked over to Jiang Bai's side and patted his shoulder with one hand, saying, "Jiang Bai, looking forward to your growth. A genius that has never been seen in a century. Next, form your fan team." In no time. After speaking, Rox left. Everyone who just saw this scene changed their faces. They saw Rox taking care of Jiang Bai so well, and for a moment, the kind expression on their faces disappeared completely. If Jiang Bai is still in the growth stage now, so as he continues to develop nuclear fruits, the potential for the future will be terrifying. Since they are all the people left on the ship, I have no reason to provoke the other party. Quickly, they all lowered their heads involuntarily and chose to leave hastily in response to Jiang Bai's gaze. On the other hand, Kaido and Charlotte Lingling, holding the devil fruit in their hands, walked up to Jiang Bai, intending to please this future powerhouse. "I hope we can stand together at the top of the world in the future," Charlotte Lingling said, and then put the Superman fruit in Jiang Bai's hand. The reason for taking out the devil fruit is still because Jiang Bai once said that one needs to use the devil fruit to hone their own abilities. So, it requires a large amount of demon fruit. As for how to temper it and whether it will be used for consumption, it is unknown, thank you. Jiang Bai didn't hesitate to harvest the fruits brought by Charlotte Lingling and Kaido. At this point, he already had 3 demon fruits on hand. Ding! The host can choose to recycle 2 ordinary animal fruits and 1 ordinary Superman fruit. You can earn a total of 30,000 evolution points. Hear the news. Jiang Bai showed a hint of disappointment. Unexpectedly, they are all ordinary, however, at least 30,000 more evolution points can be added. With this in mind, he glanced around and said, "You guys step back, I'm going to unleash my ability to produce nuclear fruits. Next, we will use 3 demon fruits to hone our nuclear power." Speaking. The 3 demon fruits slowly floated in the air. As for honing nuclear capabilities, it's just a gimmick made up. Then, Jiang Bai suddenly unleashed the coronal light. A scorching red light rushed out of the mouth and enveloped the surface of the 3 fruits. At the same time, the system prompts the sound to start. Ding! 3 demon fruits have been recycled. Increase 30,000 evolution points. It still takes 50,000 evolution points for Space Godzilla to grow from a juvenile to an adult. Current stage. Space Godzilla, juvenile, 88%. At the same time as hearing the sound, Jiang Bai was surprised for a moment. He still had 130,000 evolution points on his body. Unexpectedly, with an additional 50,000, Godzilla could break through. You should know that Godzilla in space is a destructive god forged by cosmic forces. Only by absorbing the power from the universe can it grow rapidly. But now it is still in its infancy and has not yet grown crystals, making it unable to communicate with cosmic forces. After thinking for a moment, Jiang Bai couldn't help but sigh. There is still a long way to go for Space Godzilla to evolve into a true god of destruction. I don't know if the fully evolved Space Godzilla can travel back and forth between 2 planets. Thinking to myself. I saw Kai Duo and Bai Hu and others beside me, already showing a shocked expression. Watching Jiang Bai's performance, what surprised people was that those 3 demon fruits had invisibly transformed into an energy and injected into Jiang Bai's body. The ability of this nuclear fruit is too terrifying, isn't it? Is Jiang Bai refining his nuclear ability by absorbing demon fruits? At a moment of shock, Whitebeard immediately excitedly grabbed Jiang Bai's shoulder and said, "Gula la la la, it seems that the nuclear fruit in your body is really powerful, able to swallow 3 demon fruits without encountering a curse." Upon hearing this, Kaido next to him showed a hint of longing. He has always wanted to swallow a powerful demon fruit. So until now, I haven't spoken yet. You should know that once you swallow one demon fruit, swallowing the second one will result in a curse. But like Jiang Bai, using the ability of nuclear fruits to turn 3 demon fruits into personal use is completely unheard of and shocking. Jiang Bai, can you tell me what shape a nuclear fruit is? Kaito asked tentatively. For what Whitebeard said to Kaito. Jiang Bai was somewhat surprised. He never expected Kaito and Whitebeard to be so clever. I casually shot out coronal light just to create a magical scene. I never thought about it. They consider it as the ability of a nuclear fruit. And Kaito is even more outrageous, he has already started to inquire about nuclear fruits. Jiang Bai pondered for a moment and answered to Kai Duo, I accidentally swallowed the core fruit when I was lying under a tree when I was a child. As for its shape, I have forgotten. After perfunctory passing, Kai Duo's expression changed and he looked very regretful. At this moment, Whitebeard waved his big hand and said to his subordinates. Bring up the demonic fruits that we haven't taken yet on our ship and give them to Jiang Bai. And then, you trainee crew members, those with talent, come over. Speaking of which. Beard looked at Jiang Bai and said generously. Since you are also a cadre, then you need to select members of the team. I can check with you. Chapter 10. Shocking the Navy Headquarters. The most dangerous person. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The crew members who were still on the ship gathered one by one, listening to the words of Whitebeard. As probationary crew members, if they want to stay on board, they have to stand out and make the captain of the team interested. If it were other team captains, they might not look up to them, but as someone who has just jumped to become captain, Jiang Bai may have some opportunities with him. Think of it here. After they gathered around, they began to praise each other. Captain Jiang Bai, if I could follow you, that would be great. I have always admired Captain Jiang Bai's talent. It can be said that Captain Whitebeard was really discerning at the time. Believe in Captain Jiang Bai, he will become the first team captain among other team captains and eventually become a maritime powerhouse. We are all willing to follow you. Listen to the boasting of the apprentice crew. Jiang Bai smiled helplessly. In fact, most of the people in front of him are useless. But the quality of the team doesn't matter. Just pick up some people as you please. Anyway, I don't care about this position either. At this moment, the white beard next to him showed a solemn expression, reminding him. Don't randomly recruit people under your command, I have suffered losses before. Listening to Whitebeard talk about the past. Jiang Bai nodded slowly. Even if there are no requirements, at least we must ensure that the person recruited is a loyal one. Subsequently, Jiang Bai saw several familiar figures in his field of vision. When I was lying in bed, wrapped in straps before, they often brought food over and chatted quite well, just you guys. Stand on my side. As the apprentice crew members approached, I suddenly saw them burst into excitement and then went on to flatter wildly. Captain Jiang Bai, you are truly handsome and imposing, with a majestic demeanor and soared eyebrows and starry sky. Captain Jiang Bai, with your leadership, I believe that from now on, you will be the world's #1 and I will be the world's second. Upon hearing this, Jiang Bai couldn't help but roll his eyes. It seems that this has recruited a group of flatterers. Let's drive them tomorrow. And just then, Jiang Bai noticed that there was another person here, who was Kai Duo, who had just given him an ordinary animal fruit. Just now he didn't notice that the demonic fruit was sent by Kaido. Now, just as he was wondering how the future 4 emperors would stand here, he saw Kaido stretching out his strong muscles and saying, Captain Jiang Bai, can I join your team? Upon hearing this, Jiang Bai was somewhat surprised. But I quickly realized that Kaido now only has average strength. Just look at whether there are 2 corner marks on his head to know. Okay, let's do it. Tomorrow we'll have the selection of team members, come back then. Jiang Bai briefly explained to everyone. Suddenly, those who had just been selected howled directly. At this moment, Beard held a demon fruit in his hand and handed it to Jiang Bai. This is. Jiang Bai was somewhat surprised and looked at Beard. I just said that all the demon fruits will be given to you, but unfortunately, there hasn't been much harvest lately, only this animal-type demon fruit is left, said Whitebeard generously. Jiang Bai looked at the demonic fruit placed in his hand and felt immensely moved in his heart. Previously, Whitebeard had given himself 5 devil fruits, but unexpectedly, he gave himself another one. It can be said that this kind of kindness is much better than those sailors and cadres who follow the trend. Thank you. Jiang Bai said heavily. The news spread that Hachinos had arrived in Marinfando. This is the headquarters of the Navy. But at this moment, a phone call came, and it was also from the side of the Lock's lair. Steelbone Kong listened to the sound of the phone worm and picked it up to answer, saying, "What new news is there over there? Or is it that Lox is going to sea again?" On the other end of the phone, the undercover agent revealed a chilling voice and replied. "A terrifying newcomer has appeared. His talent is very demonic." Listen to the voice of an undercover agent. Steelbone Kong fell into contemplation. When I heard about the horror newcomers before, it was still Kaido and Charlotte Lingling. They both boarded the pirate ship at Lox. And this time, surprisingly, another terrifying newcomer has arrived. Who is it? Steelbone Kong restrained his tone and asked. The bandaged man who boarded the ship for 3 years. He had previously reported this person. Named Jiang Bai, the undercover agent replied. Bandage person. Upon hearing these words, Steelbones fell into memories. I remember 3 years ago, there was an accident where an island under my jurisdiction evaporated out of thin air and its surroundings were all polluted. I thought that the pollution source would spread to Marinfando. But what's unexpected is that when I sent out the Navy to deal with it, I heard that the pollution source had disappeared completely. When I went over to check, I only heard others say that there was a person drifting by, and then the pollution disappeared. After inquiring later, I heard that the drifter had boarded the white-bearded boat and became a famous bandager. At first, Gangakong made some speculations about Jiang Bai's ability to absorb pollution sources, thinking that it was his fruit ability. The events that followed also corresponded to his speculation. Jiang Bai emitted a terrifying radiation wave all over his body. What exactly did Jiang Bai do? And have you inquired about his fruit ability? Steelbone Kong asked. Nuclear fruit. The undercover agent gave 4 words. What fruit is this? Steelbone Kong fell into confusion. Listen to the name. It doesn't seem to be very impressive. This fruit should not have strong ability, right? The gases released are all toxic gases. Steelbone Kong continued to ask. I think. A lot of things just happened, whether it's the gas we speculated about or the source of pollution, they should all be overturned, explained the undercover agent. Upon hearing this, Steelbone Kong was very interested in the situation on the other side of Skull Island, so he asked the undercover agent to explain everything in detail. Half loud. Steelbone Kong's expression suddenly changed. Congyun Knife Technique. Lion Chopping Wave Saber Technique. The Axe of Thunder and Silver. Is this still a knife technique that a crew member who has been lying down for 3 years can learn? He couldn't sit still listening to what the undercover agent was saying. The man named Jiang Bai not only learned these knife techniques, but also made terrifying improvements through his ability to produce nuclear fruits. The most crucial thing is that through the revelations of the probationary crew, Jiang Bai only took a glance and learned these knife techniques. This terrifying talent is suffocating. Just one glance. Just a glance. At this moment, Steelbones placed his hands in front of him and took a deep breath. Calm down. Calm down. There must be an error in the news. After relaxing for a moment, Steelbone Kong said solemnly, I asked you to stay there and inquire about the news, but you gave me these false messages. Do you want to die? If you want to die, I can send someone to collect your body now. No, how could what I said be false information? I can guarantee that if I exaggerate the news, then I will be struck by lightning and die without a place to bury myself. The undercover agent was completely bewildered and immediately explained. With his repeated promises, Steelbone Kong reluctantly accepted the fact and then calmed down. But he can be calm. The three people next to him, Kapu, Warring States, and Zifa, couldn't calm down at all. How does it feel like you're listening to a mythological story? Does this kind of demon really exist? Cap looked at Steelbone Kong with a bewildered expression on his face. In the blink of an eye, I saw the undercover agent abruptly hang up the phone. Steelbone Kong let go of the phone bug and became accustomed to the undercover agent suddenly hanging up the phone. Someone should be approaching over there. Now, let's focus our attention on Jiang Bai. Steelbone Kong spoke, his domineering gaze sweeping towards the three people in front. The Warring States period learned to take a deep breath and solemnly said. I believe there can't be such a genius in the world. Like Kaido and Charlotte Lingling, they are already monsters. If Jiang Bai really told the undercover agent like that, wouldn't that be a monster among the monsters? Upon hearing this, Steelbone's face remained unchanged. Undercover agents generally do not spread false information. Of course, there are also some undercover agents who don't want to survive and take money to work for others. Thinking of this, Steelbone said heavily, let me contact another informant. The Navy has arranged more than one undercover agent like this. Kapu, Zifa, and the Warring States period watched intently. If this informant also claims that Jiang Bai is a demon, then it is highly likely that this matter is true in that way. As Jiang Bai grows up, he may become the most headache-inducing and suffocating pirate group for the Navy. As Gengakong finished talking to this informant on the phone, his solemn expression only intensified a bit. This time during the Warring States period, none of the three could hear this private conversation. But as they looked at the expression on Steelbone Kong's face, they also guessed roughly, send me the message. Designate Jiang Bai as a dangerous person. Add him to the list of key dangerous individuals. After finishing the phone call, Steelbone Kong appeared very serious as he spoke, pressing tightly on the table in front of him with one hand.